He's back from the dead. Hello, folks, and welcome back to our channel reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book Return of the Mummy, number 23 from OG62, Goosebumps. The front cover itself is pretty good, I guess. You have that big mummy case on the foreground, and you have a big mummy that seems to be emerging from it, trying to come out with its arm kind of, out of the coffin, and his hand is reaching out. I mean, the mummy's hand. And yeah, that's a pretty good cover, if you ask me. You have that green smoke that seems to be coming out of the mummy's bandages. Or is it from the coffin? It's kind of interesting. I can't really tell for sure, but it looks like a pretty good cover to me. And you have some blue also, like the wall is entirely blue. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And the letters, Goosebumps, as well as the title of the book and the series are all in blue, or at least the title of the book is in white, but again with a blue background, and the green background behind the title Goosebumps is also a good use of color, as the green smoke is coming out of the coffin, the mummy case. You have like the blue from the wall and the green from the smoke that are being reflected on the front cover. I think that's pretty good. I really like Egypt, and the mummy case, is kind of emphasized in my opinion, because it's the first thing we kind of notice, and I think that's pretty good. It makes us want to read the book, but the focus is not really on the mummy. So I don't know if that was done intentionally, like if Tim Jacobus didn't want to focus too much on the mummy for this book, as he did in with the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. But yeah, that's interesting to mention that, I guess. So, Return of the Mummy is a direct sequel to The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, number 5 from Goosebumps, and it takes place in Egypt once again, and it features the same characters. So you have Gabriel, our main character, who's going back to Egypt for the summer, and he's going to be reunited with his uncle Ben and his cousin Sari. And basically, Uncle Ben is in the middle of a very big discovery, as he's basically working inside a pyramid, and he's gonna basically open some kind of a tomb, I guess. He's in the middle of some kind of I don't know how to call it. It's kind of like he's an archaeologist, so he kind of looks for certain things inside pyramids and in Egypt in general. So he's about to, I guess, dig out something huge. And so, yeah, like I said, in a pyramid. And basically what happens is that the tomb is about to open, is thought to belong to a very important and relevant individual named Prince Kuru. And basically, Uncle Ben is going to want to crack the door open, or the seal, whatever you're going to call it, in order to be able to access the tomb, because it is thought to contain that big treasure. I think that would be worth a lot of money if he happened to get his fingers on it. Huge treasure, so he'd become rich and famous, even though he's already kind of famous. And so, yeah, the children, Gabe and Suri, are pretty excited about it, because they're going to be interviewed by so many reporters, and maybe, become famous, and be well known in at their school and everything. So they're pretty hyped about it. And Uncle Ben himself is very excited because if he's right, like the treasure he's about to get, yeah, will be a very good thing for his career, I guess, right? So yeah, so he's about to enter, but there's that woman who's a reporter who's named Nyla, and basically she keeps asking him to if she can stay with him, if she can assist him in any shape or form, Uncle Ben and his team, that is. And she's pretty insistent about it. Like she insists on following them around and everything. And yeah, there seems to be some kind of story about that character in particular. But we can't really put our fingers. It's not like the reader easily can put his fingers on what it is exactly. I don't want to spoil the book or anything, so don't worry about it. I won't tell you exactly what happens, but yeah, she's kind of a shady character, I would say. She's pretty shady, so you don't really know what her intentions are, whether she's a good person or whether she's a bad person. We don't know. Maybe she is a good person, maybe she's a bad person, but yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. So Uncle Ben is gonna want to go in there anyway, even though there's kind of like a message that is at the entrance of the tomb that reads, "Let me rest in peace." And so basically, it's a warning for basically so that people won't get into it, won't get inside, because it is thought that violating the prince's wishes will bring out some kind of a curse, and that's pretty bad, especially since I think in Egypt, especially back in the days, people used to really believe in that stuff, right? Like it's kind of like it's kind of like a yeah traditions or certain beliefs that were upheld. So yeah, people used to fear those particular things. So still, Uncle Ben is not gonna back up from that. He's not gonna be like, maybe, yeah, I shouldn't do it. He's not gonna back off. He's gonna wanna, go all the way and not being stopped. And so that's pretty interesting. He is the fact that he doesn't want to get stopped, and he has that real wayward attitude. So that's good, I guess. So he's gonna want to keep going, and also there's some kind of a some kind of a how could I say? Hold on a second, folks. Forgive me for that, but I read this book like a long time ago, so I don't remember exactly what. But there is some kind of a magic sort of formula, and basically, if one says it 3 times, the mummy will come back to life, or something like this. And so some ancient words, and I'm not going to recite them or anything. Not that I'm superstitious at all, I'm not, but I don't want to spoil the fun that you may get from reading this book. But yeah, that's those are ancient words, and apparently they may bring the mummy back to life, and the characters are gonna come to know about it. So I think I'm gonna stop here because I said pretty much I said what the book is about. I kind of explained a little bit what happens. Now I'll move on to my personal opinion on this particular book, Return of the Mummy. So Return of the Mummy is a very enjoyable book. I really enjoyed it. Mummy books and Goosebumps are pretty great in my opinion, especially from OG62. The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb was still better because it was more like an adventure sort of book, and the first book didn't feature that many mummies. This one, though, on the other hand, does have more mummies to the story, which is a good thing, right? And yeah, if you're looking for mummies, you're gonna be happy. If you read this book, I know the first book didn't do much justice to the front cover to some extent, and that was not a shame, but a little bit disappointing, even though I loved the first book. But this book, curiously enough, the one that doesn't have a big mummy, standing on the foreground, is more about mummies than the first book. So this book is really very enjoyable. I loved every single part of the book, especially the ending. Also was pretty creepy. The way the story progresses is interesting. The book itself is a very nice read. It reads by. It's not. It's more like some kind of a scary book, And the first one was more like adventurous and discovery thing, and yeah, some kind of an adventure type of story. But this one is more about mummies and more scarier, right? And there are a few scenes that maybe weren't necessary. Especially there's a scene that is quite similar to one of the scenes from the first book, and I didn't enjoy that scene that much. Those who have read it, this book that is, know what I'm talking about. And yeah, that was pretty, I don't know, weird, I guess, and a little bit redundant. But it wasn't that bad in my opinion. Like, this book is a solid book. The characters are interesting. In this book, it's a bit there's something that is better than the first book. There's something that is better than in the first book. Gabriel and Suri discuss, less competing. In the first book, they used to be competing a lot, which was kind of annoying at times, especially when they were like, "Oh, Suri would be like, I get great grades, and I'm a good student and everything, and my father is gonna put me in that school next summer, next fall or whatever, like I'm the best." And Gabriel would be like, "Nah, you're not. I'm even better than you." That was kind of, it was kind of like a brother and sister kind of relationship, and that competing attitude was really a big part of the relationship in the first book. I wasn't crazy about that. I wasn't crazy about this, but in this book, it kind of it's less about that, so that's a good thing, I guess. And yeah, apart from that, the book itself was pretty good, I would say. I didn't really dislike it. I thought the book was really good, really. The story itself with the mummy, Uncle Ben, was good. Again, I love the characters. I love Uncle Ben. I love Gabriel. I like Cherie. I like her. I liked her better in this book than in the previous one, because in the previous one she was more like a crybaby, and she was always, kind of irritating, always trying to compete with Gabriel and all. And she was kind of, I don't know, she was kind of a big-headed person, kind of arrogant a little bit. In this book, curiously enough, she was much better, in my opinion. I don't know if perhaps it's Stein who wanted to write her differently, because, he thought that in the first book she was more like an irritating character a little bit. Again, she's just a child, so I'm taking that into account, I promise. But yeah, in this book, she was more likable. That's for a fact. And Uncle Ben, again, is awesome. I really like him. He's archaeologist type. His practical jokes, sometimes they're kind of funny, especially since he's an elderly man. Elderly men don't really tell jokes a lot. But Uncle Ben is always trying to lighten up the mood and make everybody laugh, even when things are not exactly all good. He's still trying to come up with something funny to ease the pressure, like be less, so that things would look more, would look merrier. And so yeah, I thought that book was good. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but mummy books, man, they're so good. And the change of scenery, the fact that it's taking place in Egypt, I loved it. Now, mind you, Egypt is one of my one of the countries that intrigue me the most. I'm really intrigued by Egypt and this country. Never been there, but I intend on perhaps going there someday. It's really beautiful with the pyramids and the mummy cases and everything, and the stories behind it. Egypt is such a nice place. And like Michael Goosebumps mentioned in one of his in his review, he's this book is kind of like an Indiana Jones kind of story, isn't it? Like with an adventure centered story, an adventurer, whatever, someone who likes adventures, like Gabriel and his cousin. The mummy scenes was pretty good in that in that book, not that movie, that book. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. The fact that it's taking place mostly in the pyramid was good too. And maybe, yeah, I'd say the following thing. The beginning of the book, when they're in the tomb, it kind of, it's not bad, but it takes way too long. This is my only kind of objection to this book. When they're about to crack the seal open, when they're about to open the door of the pyramid, of the tomb, and find out about the treasure and the jewels, I guess, and everything, and whatever pays good. I thought that was pretty. That was a long scene. It kind of dragged by or something. Like I dragged on. It wasn't unnecessary. I get it. You need to some time to talk about what happens and everything, and describe what happens in detail. But yeah, that was kind of boring. At one maybe in one scene maybe, but apart from that, the story is great. The ending was pretty great with a great twist, final twist. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get a. Excuse me. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get a third book, a third mummy book. I would have really liked like a re-return of the mummy. I know that sounds pretty like dumb as a title, not re-return of the mummy, more like I don't know, the mummy strikes back or something. Like I would have liked another kind of story, you understand what I'm saying? Basically, yeah, another one with the same character, same everything. It didn't pan out though. I don't know if Stein decided to let it go, or if the maybe it's the I don't know, Scholastic maybe didn't want to push it. But I would have wished for a third mummy book, but because this one was pretty good. It was pretty great. I really enjoyed it. So, wow, it's been 80 minutes already. My reviews are getting longer, I see, by the day. And I apologize for that if I repeat myself a lot, but I just I just found out that there's so much to say about Goosebumps books now. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's not enough. It doesn't do justice to the book. So maybe I'll do like 20 minutes reviews from now on, and hopefully you won't find it too boring or anything. But yeah, I aim to please and to entertain. All right. So now let's move on to the rating. Maybe I would give it seven. What was my review for the first book? Wasn't it 8 something, 8.5, or yeah? If I gave it 8.5, I would give this book 8 out of 10. I don't remember very well, so I apologize if I get it wrong. Or yeah, 8 out of 10 sounds like a reasonable review, rating. Sounds like a reasonable rating, and yeah. Apart from the scene that was in the pyramid where they were basically about to open the chamber, yeah, the tomb. I thought that the book was pretty good, but the first one was even better in my opinion. But this one was pretty great as well. So, what about you, folks? What did you think about Return of the Mummy? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. And thank you so much for sharing. And in the meantime, Stay safe and see you on the next review. Goodbye, folks. Take care. This whole show is for you signing off. And now I'm going to be reading the summary. Dead or alive? After last year's scary adventure, Gabe's a little nervous about being back in Egypt, back near the ancient pyramids, back where he saw those creepy mummies. Then he learns about an Egyptian superstition, a secret chant that is supposed to bring mummies to life. Gabe's uncle says it's just a hoax, but now it sounds like something's moving in the mummy's tomb. No way a couple of dumb wars can wake. No way a couple of dumb wars can wake the dead. Can they?